Hi guys, so today we are going to look at one of the most famous proportion questions which crops up every other year in the GCSE paper. So here are the ingredients needed to make 12 shortcakes. To make 12 shortcakes you need 50 grams of sugar, 200 grams of butter, 200 grams of flour, 50 and 10 milliliters of milk. Liz makes some shortcakes. She uses 25 milliliters of milk. How many shortcakes does Liz make? So this is a classic proportion question. Now there are two ways to attempt this question. There is a way which uses a ratio and there is another way which uses proportion. So I'll teach you both ways and you can apply them to every other question, whichever one you're more comfortable with. So for 10 milliliters of milk, you have 12 shortcakes. So if you're choosing to use the ratio question, make sure that milk and shortcakes are separated because they are the two entities which we are looking at here. So under milk, you obviously write the data for milk, 10 milliliters of milk and 25 milliliters of milk. So for 10 milliliters of milk, we need 12 shortcakes. So for 25 milliliters of milk, how many shortcakes do we need? So to get from 10 to 25, we multiply 10 by 25 over 10. So whatever you do to one side of your ratio, you do the same to the other side too. So you multiply 12 by 25 over 10 and you get 30. So that's the ratio method, and make sure that everything is aligned correctly though. The next method is the direct proportion method. So for 10 milliliters of milk, you can make 12 shortcakes. Always find the value for 1 milliliter. So for 1 milliliter, it's 12 divided by 10 shortcakes. So once that you've identified the answer for 1 milliliter, you can now work 25 milliliters of milk. So for 25 milliliters of milk, you will get 12 out of 10 multiplied by 25, and that gives us 30 shortcakes. So the moment that you find the value for 1, you can of course easily find the value for 25 milliliters of milk. Now the next part of the question says that Robert has 500 grams of sugar, 1000 grams of butter, 1000 grams of flour, 50 milliliters of milk. Work out the greatest number of shortcakes Robert can make. So to attempt this question, what we are going to do, the method I'm going to use is the ratio method, because I can already notice that all of the numbers are multiples one of the original one there. So for 50 grams, you need 12 shortcakes. What do you need to do to 50 to get 500 grams? You multiply by 10. So whatever you do to one side of your equation or one side of your ratio, you do the same to the other. 12 times 10 is 120. Likewise, for butter, 200 grams of butter equals 12 shortcakes. So to get from 200 to 1000, we multiply by 5. And I do the same to the other side and I get 60 shortcakes. And likewise for flour, 200 grams of flour is equal to 12 shortcakes. 1000 grams, again we multiply by 5 and we get 60 shortcakes. And finally for milk, 10 milliliters of milk is 12 shortcakes. So to get from 10 to 500, we multiply by 50. So 10 times 50 is 500 milliliters. And of course, if you're multiplying one side by 50, you ought to multiply the other side by 50 too. 12 times 50 is 600 shortcakes. So clearly the greatest number of shortcakes, given his ingredient here, the amount of sugar, butter and flour and milk that he has, obviously the greatest amount of shortcake that he'll be able to make is 60 shortcakes. So this is the answer to your question. I hope that this was helpful. If you have any other questions, please do post a video and I would be more than happy to answer your questions. Take care. Bye.